Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So when going through my handbags the other day and I was looking for a way to store them in a more appropriate way, I sort of failed that, to be honest, but I also realized that throughout the years I have acquired something that I would call a Louis Vuitton starter collection. And I remember being at a point in my luxury journey where I was looking for videos and more information on certain bags, and so I thought my own Louis Vuitton starter collection would be a good topic to talk about in the video. I really hope the information I share with you today about my own collection will help you pick your own new handbag very soon. So the first handbag I want to talk about is the Louis Vuitton Pochette, and I bought it in the Damier Ebene canvas. I remember this being the first Louis Vuitton piece I ever bought. I think it was 2015. I was still a student at university, and you know, money wasn't looking great at the time, but it was looking much better because I did have a job back then. I think from watching YouTube but also Instagram at the time, I just felt ready to invest in something luxurious myself, and I knew it would have to be a handbag because unlike clothing, handbags really can last a very long time. And even today I'm still extremely happy that I ended up buying this Louis Vuitton Pochette as my first Louis Vuitton piece ever, simply because it has followed me along so well. I still wear this little handbag on a very regular basis. It has followed me along on every single vacation I went on since buying this handbag in 2015. Just to give you an idea of how practical it is, this little handbag really fits every single important thing that I need on vacation or when going out. It fits all of my cards, it fits my bigger iPhone, it fits a pen if I need one, it fits a few postcards if I want to buy them on vacation. And because it is so small and also the handle is so short, it fits perfectly under my arm. And I remember we were in Venice and we were walking for hours on end in Venice, because that's really what you have to do when you're there. And I remember just carrying everything in this little bag. Everything would fit, and it would not be heavy, it would not be uncomfortable. It would also never really feel unsafe because, as you can tell, my entire arm essentially covers this bag. This handbag is just such a good companion. And if you're like me back in the day on a budget and you're thinking like, what could you buy as a first purchase from Louis Vuitton? In my opinion, before you buy a card holder or a wallet, I would say save up a little bit more and buy a pochette. This bag is just such an all-rounder. It wears really well. I mean, I've had it for years, but it really looks very good still. I mean, of course the hardware is wearing off here and there a little bit, but like I said, I've worn it non-stop since purchasing it, so a little bit of wear and tear here and there is completely fine. I don't regret buying this bag. I also don't regret buying it in the Damier Ebene canvas. I think this sort of handbag started my Damier Ebene craze. I only recently broke that habit by buying the Pochette Metis in the monogram canvas. To sum up, I would still highly recommend the Pochette if you are on a budget, if you don't want to commit to a larger purchase just yet, but you're sort of ready to start your luxury journey. I would say the Pochette is really a great first start. Then moving on to the Speedy, I'm not going to pull it out because I think I draped it quite nicely right there. So I bought the Speedy in 2016. I remember being able to afford it because I had a modeling job in 2016 that paid enough for me to afford the handbag. I remember going into the store and being like really happy and excited about it. But in the foreground of buying the Speedy, and I bought it in a size 30, also again in Damier Ebene, I did do a lot of research and I thought about the different sizes, if I should get a 25 or a 30 or a 35. I didn't know back then that a 40 was going to be too big. I was also sort of stuck between getting a Speedy or a Neverfull, because I remember back in 2016 Neverfulls were really all the craze. Many people were wearing them, but when it comes to the price point, of course Neverfulls are above Speedies when it comes to that. For me, it was really a decision between saving up longer to be able to afford a Neverfull or to just go with the flow and buy the Speedy. When I went into the store in 2016, I knew that I wanted to get the Speedy in the Damier Ebene canvas, and I also knew that I wasn't going to be interested in the Speedy 25 anymore at that point. But I was sort of still stuck between the 30 and the 35, so I, went there, I tried both sizes on and realized thankfully that the 35 was going to be way too big on my frame. I don't regret buying my Speedy at all. Looking back, I think, and with how my lifestyle has changed a little bit, I should have maybe waited longer and saved up for the Speedy B, the one with the strap, simply because I feel like the Speedy B is a lot more versatile when it comes to how you can wear it. And nonetheless, I would say, having bought the Speedy in its classic design without the strap and anything else, I do think that purchase still makes a lot of sense to me. I also still think that the size 30 makes so much sense. It just fits so much stuff. It's ridiculous how much stuff you can fit in a Speedy size 30. When it comes to wear and tear, the Speedy in the damier band wears extremely well. I've had the Speedy for 4 years, and I remember in the first year or two I wore it non-stop wherever I went. This bag came with me. From my own experience, I would say if you are stuck between either the Speedy B or the Speedy, save up and get the Speedy B, simply because I think it is a lot more versatile. If you're stuck between the Speedy and the Neverfull, I say buy either and then go back and buy another one, because I think both styles are very classic. If you're wondering about getting it either in the monogram canvas or the damier band, and I can't really talk about the damier azure because I've never really tried it on myself, and it's also not a canvas that interests me at all. But when it comes to the monogram canvas and the damier band, if you're stuck between the two, I would say go to the store with an outfit that looks the most like you. And when it comes to the color palette of the outfit, just look into your closet and check, is that color palette that you're wearing to the store really something that is reflected a lot in your closet and something that you wear on a very regular basis. I for one realize now with buying the Pochette Metis that there is a stark difference between the monogram canvas and the damier band when it comes to styling it with outfits. Then next up is the Neverfull, and I bought it again in the damier band and in the size GM. Now I can't for one talk too much about the different sizes of the Neverfull. I really only tried on the MM and the GM, and I knew even before I went to the store that I wanted the GM. Now my issue back then, and I bought this bag pretty much a week after my birthday in 2017, I believe. The issue with this bag was that it was always sold out. My store did not have it. They could not tell me when it would come back again. So what I ended up doing is I ordered the Neverfull online. This purchase from the official Louis Vuitton website was, I think, my first extremely positive experience with the Louis Vuitton website. It was so easy to order. I remember in order to get this handbag, I called them and I gave them my credit card number, and they ended up sending it to the store, so I picked it up at my next store. Just by ordering online, I was able to get this handbag really fast. Before ordering the handbag online, I did go to the store to try on the different canvases and the different sizes again. I skipped the damier azure because it's not really a canvas I'm interested in, but I did try it on in the monogram canvas and also in the damier band. They didn't have the GM size in the damier band, but they did have it in the monogram canvas, and while I liked it and I had seen many women out and about with the monogram canvas and the size GM, I sort of realized immediately that I was going to pick the damier band again. When it comes in general to the monogram canvas, I would say it's just a lot more high maintenance, and I live in a country where it rains a lot, and as you likely know, the Pochette leather on Louis Vuitton handbags can be stained by water. So I knew for such a big bag that I was going to use for traveling, for, you know, going to work every day in the rain, in the snow, I knew that the Pochette leather wasn't going to really make sense. Now when it comes to the size, I ended up buying the GM because I honestly don't like the Neverfulls in the smaller sizes. I personally don't think that tote shape looks as nice in smaller sizes, but I also think it depends a lot on who wears it. There are women I've seen with like even the PM size Neverfull that look absolutely cute on them. I think the size of the Neverfull you should buy depends a lot on how tall you are, if you're skinnier or curvier, and so on and so forth. Sadly, I have to say, since switching jobs, I started carrying more low-key bags. I bought a really beautiful black Giorgio Armani bag in Pisa, for example, that I love to wear to work. This was also sort of my weekend bag. I could just pack everything that was relevant for the weekend into this bag and all of my work stuff, and then sort of unload the stuff at my boyfriend's house and then just carry, you know, my essentials to work. To conclude, I would say if you're stuck between the canvases, again, go for what fits your wardrobe the best, and if you're stuck between sizes, I would say go for what fits your body the best. Then one last thing I want to say about security, because many people do complain about the Neverfull not having a zipper. There is actually a way to close off the Neverfull completely, and I'm going to show you that in a cutaway. My SA actually showed me that back in the day. Then lastly, the Louis Vuitton Pochette Metis, my most recent purchase. Now when it comes to the price point of the Pochette Metis, it is definitely way above any of the other handbags. I am not entirely sure how much the other handbags cost right now, but I do know that the Pochette Metis now cost 1,500 euros, whereas I believe the Speedy is still under 1,000 €1,000 and a Neverfull is only slightly above €1,000. So depending on what size you are getting of the other handbags, you are looking at about 400 to 500 extra euros that you have to spend. And these extra 500 euros were definitely something that sort of kept me from purchasing this handbag back when I did buy the Speedy and the Neverfull. In general, I would say the Pochette Metis definitely fills a big hole in my handbag collection, in the sense that it is my first crossbody bag by, you know, a bigger design. I have not had the Pochette Metis long enough to really tell you a lot about how it wears. I have been wearing it non-stop since I bought it. What I can say about the handbag is really what I try to sort of get at all throughout this video. This handbag is my first monogram canvas piece. There is a huge difference when it comes to how you can style a monogram canvas piece to how you can style a damier ebène piece. I haven't really understood what the difference is. I think it's the shade of brown, whereas the damier ebène has a really beautiful, I want to say, chocolate brown color. The monogram canvas seems to have more of a greenish grayish tint to its brown, and that for some reason makes it a little bit harder to style for my personal wardrobe. When it comes to what fits in the bag, I can get a huge wallet in there, my big iPhone fits, I can get a hand cream, a hand sanitizer, masks, whatever, a little book in there, so it does fit quite a lot. Nowhere near as much as the Speedy or the Neverfull, of course, so it's not really a travel bag at all, but it is a great day-to-day bag when you're out in town shopping and you need your hands free and you also don't want to carry something that is as small as the Pochette. I definitely think this handbag makes total sense for that. Like all of the other handbags, I really wanted the Pochette Metis, and I would repurchase it again, of course, in its size between a Pochette and also between a smaller Speedy. It really isn't a size handbag that I needed immediately. My little Pochette carried me through the worst, and then sort of the Speedy and the Neverfull did the rest. I do believe in general, as a piece and a starter collection, it is a very central piece and something that I would recommend everyone gets that, you know, has a thing for Louis Vuitton and also has a thing for these classic pieces. When it comes to how the Pochette Metis looks on me and also on other people, I feel like the Pochette Metis is definitely one of the more beautiful handbags I own from Louis Vuitton. I find it personally more beautiful than the other handbags simply because it has a lot more detailing, a lot more design going to it. To conclude, I would say if you're stuck between getting the Pochette and the Pochette Metis, it depends on your budget. If you can afford the Pochette Metis before you can afford the Pochette, I would say go for the Pochette Metis. And then if you're stuck sort of between a Speedy, even the smaller one, and the Pochette Metis, I would say getting a smaller Speedy, like a Speedy 25 with the bandolier, which I absolutely love, and I may get that at some point, but I haven't decided yet. I would say go for the bigger Speedy with the strap and then the Pochette later. Or if you're sort of stuck between a Speedy 25 with the strap and the Pochette Metis, I would get the Pochette Metis because it has a more interesting design for a crossbody bag, and then I would say get a bigger Speedy at a different point. Right guys, this completes my video. I hope you really enjoyed it and could take something away from it. If you did, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and then I shall see you in the next video. Bye.